So in this video, I want to talk to you about whether you can transfer master credits to a PhD. So if you have a master's degree and you transfer to a PhD, and I think this is a question that some of you might actually have an experience. So what I want you to do, well, by the way, if you don't know who I am, I'm Professor Dave Massac. I'm Associate Professor of Innovation Strategy and Entrepreneurship. And I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people that help me out that I want to pay the favor forward to help you out as much as I possibly can. So can you actually transfer master degree credits to a PhD? Yeah, absolutely. You can do that if you're going to certain PhD programs in terms of what they're doing and the courses that they're teaching. So often at a lot of PhD programs and master's programs that are research related, there's going to be master's courses that you're going to take that are identical to, in fact, you're going to be taking the same courses as a PhD student. They're going to be in there because they're trying to get that sort of base, more people in the classes to actually take those courses, and you could take those kind of things. Now, some programs, it's a little tricky to do that. So in a business school, for example, our master's program is like an MBA, which is more professional oriented. And there is less to learn in terms of what's applicable for a PhD program. And so those courses are not going to be as transferable to a PhD program. You're going to have to take a bunch of courses anyways, right? So what you're thinking about here is what I would actually suggest for you to do is to think about where you want to go with that PhD and what you're going to do with that doctorate degree. If you're trying to sort of speed things up and get through and do things as quick as possible and efficient, then you're kind of missing the point of what you actually do in a doctoral program. The reason what you're trying to do is take those courses to actually develop your research skills and become a better researcher. So the way that you do that is to read a lot and learn about a bunch of different things in all those publications. So if you're trying to cut back in the courses that you're taking, it might actually be harmful for you in the career in the future. So you really need to get that base of understanding and actually spending more time early on before you get that tenure clock or before everything that's going on is going to be helpful. And that's actually really good advice to really think about what it's going to be helpful for in terms of building that career. Once you're on that tenure clock, it gets crazy and it is hard to do things. So if you can get papers that are developed and work through and you have ideas and you're much further along within the program early on and you have courses that you've taken, you understand a bunch of things, that is actually going to be very helpful for you. Mind you, as long as it's within the area and you're able to leverage some of those things. Now, it's hard to do when you're kind of junior and you're figuring these things out, but that's what you should be thinking about. Now, the only time that you should probably transfer credit, so maybe you're going to a different program, and you're trying to transfer credits from program to program at different institutions, then the only time it kind of makes sense to really transfer and try to look for some sort of transfer credits at that moment is if the readings are identical and it's the same knowledge. And if it's the exact same thing, there's no point in actually doing that. You could sort of convince somebody and try to go through the motions of convincing somebody that this is the exact same course. But, that's unlikely. And so if it's me, I actually still really want to go back and do things like probability theory. I want to read, and even though I kind of understand that stuff, it really does help. And it builds that sort of base and, go back to understand, more econometrics, for example, is going to be very helpful. And it does. You build that base and you build that base and you build that base and you constantly come back and you build more and more of that base. It does help out in terms of what you're going to do. So if you can take good courses and build a stronger base in terms of where you're going to go, not only in academia, but in industry, having that strong base of knowledge is going to be very, very helpful for you, as long as it's not redundant, as long as it's not the same thing. A little bit of redundancy is okay, but if you're learning, 25% new stuff, then it's worth to take the course and to really have that understanding. So look for, the courses that are awesome, that are going to build your strengths and really help you out and leverage what you're doing, not only to write papers, but also to develop that competency in research related things and building skills and capabilities so you can actually leverage not only in academia but in industry and do some really cool things. So with that, give me a thumbs up, do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.